Hi, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I've got a great range of books sitting here, all the way to here, behind there. There's just books everywhere. I'm also starting to collect all the glassware for my glass flowers. I'm running out of space, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a bookshelf that will go from there to here and up 3. At the moment I'm looking at 3 levels and hoping that that will condense all the books to here, and that will then free up all this space under here to store my glassware until I can find another space somewhere in the house or even outside. So let's get on with the project. Okay, underneath here is the sliding saw, but there's a really funny story. It wasn't at the time, but afterwards I had a little giggle. I heard a bang one night and it was late, around midnight-ish, and I just checked my security cameras to see if there was cars or something around out the front, and it looked, I actually saw, it's late, my eyesight's blurry, and what I saw on the camera over in this, to the far corner over here, it looked like there was a person standing right here. Freaked me right out. I'll pop a couple of photos up for you to see of the evening shot at during the dark, and then during the daytime to see what's going on. So anyway, I've got to find a better way of storing this and protecting it from the weather and not put blue tarp over it, so that if I ever check the cameras again, I can see there's a saw here, not a person. That's going to drop now. It's going to come back, isn't it? Because I'm going to get me in. Doesn't matter, that'll do. That'll do. And then that. Okay, so for the bookshelf. Alright, I've now got all my measurements ready. I did measure it in there previously. I've written it all down. So my timber is just pine. Okay, so this is actually premium pine. It's 184mm by 19mm by 1.8. And my first, the bottom shelf is going to be 1.3 metres long. And for those of you that don't use metric and are still using imperial, 1 metre's 3'3". Sort of like a yard, I think. I will check it again. I'm not very good at remembering measurements. So what I need is 1.1 to 1.3. Mark my line. I'm actually using a tradies pencil, and you see it's quite thin, it's not a normal shaped pencil. I get my square and make sure it's level. Draw my line. And that's the first one done. I'm going to measure them all up and draw them up first. rather than draw one and cut it. Okay. Shelf number 2 is going to be 1 metre exactly. Shelf number 3 is actually 70 centimetres. Because this is 1.8, I can actually get both shelves out of this and just have a bit on the end left over. So measuring from there, that doesn't make sense. It's actually 1.83. Interesting. Secret, measure twice, cut once. Check that, make sure it's 1 metre. It's definitely 1 metre. What I might do is measure 1 metre in from this end. Do 70. That bit in the middle I don't need. So, there's my 3 shelves. Now the 3rd panel, each of those shelves is going to need an upright. And I've measured the height of the books, and each upright will need to be 25 centimetres. And I'm going to need 6. 2 for the bottom shelf, 2 for the second shelf, 2 for the third. So 25 centimetres. There's 1 there. What I am going to do to make sure, because you've got to remember about the thickness of the blade, I'm going to cut the first leg. And then I'm going to lay that on the top and cut each one so I know each one is exactly the same height, otherwise I'm going to have rocky shelves. Okay, so that's that part done. Now we need to move over to the saw. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, I'll just bring this in. I've turned the saw on. There's actually a laser light just here. You might be able to see the red of it on my finger. That will actually shine on my timber so I can get my line in the right spot. And something else you've got to think of is, because of this one having a very long end and a short end, I need to put the short end here. If I do it the other way, this is just going to drop off. Now if I lay it that way, the right way, I haven't got anything there to hold it in place. So I found some spare bits of marine ply that I've got lying around. Those bits I've actually taped them up. For some reason I've got lines drawn on there. Some project I was going to do, got no idea. But anyway, there it is. Put another 2 on. And that is the exact depth to put there to stop this from dropping when I put it on the saw. If I took those away, got that in its position where it needs to be, that end would have dropped by now. So anyway, here we go. Now this is the first time I've used this saw, so I've got no idea whether it's going to work well or not. So stick with me and we'll see what happens. Now I don't know what this is for, but I'm supposed to use because that laser light is actually on the line. As you can see, the saw is cutting on that side of the line. I need it on this side, and this is why I did the two separately, because you have to allow for the width of your saw blade when you're doing any work. That's going to be a nuisance. I'm going to have to bring it over a bit. I didn't get the last bit at the end. I've broken it off. Doesn't matter. It's only going to be inside with books on it. So I don't know if you can see on that. It's not very straight. I have missed the line a bit. So I don't worry about small details like that. Once I get better at using it, once I've learned how to use it properly, maybe I should move it over that way and put this at this end. We'll try that with the next one and see, because then at least I'm going to have my laser light in the right place and it's going to cut on that side of the line. I can fix that up with a plane. Easy. So let's try moving it around and see if the next one works better. Move it all the way up there. It goes on this side. Now I'm going to have to move everything. See there. You're going to have to watch from that side now. Okay, so let's pop this on. Line it up. So make sure it's against that fence at the back properly. Everything is as it should be. I just don't know why it's not going straight. I'm trying to see if I can see where I am on here. Yeah, and there you go. Alright, so the laser light is on the line. No, I'm going to do this one because I need the blade on this side of the line, not that one. Okay, so let's see what happens. That time I took it all the way to the back and it hasn't split. I've got a nice clean line, nice clean cut. So it only takes one mistake and and you get better. Okay, so now what I need is that line cutting on this side. No, I need it that way. Because it's going to cut on that side of the line. Whoa, just kicked the tripod. Line her up. Didn't realise how noisy it was, to be honest. Okay, now one thing I did notice just then, something I really need to do. Did you see that slide off? I really need to bolt this down to the desk so that when I'm moving it, sliding the saw part along, the whole thing doesn't come with it. So I think what I might have to do is get that bolted down before I start the next bit, because there's so many little cuts now for the next one that I am worried it's going to fall. Okay, so I will be back once I've bolted it down. Okay, I've got my saw sorted out. My son actually brought me around a G-clamp to clamp it down instead of bolting it. Just in case I need to be able to move it backwards and forwards depending on what I'm cutting. I'm going to leave it clamped and see, maybe I can use it where it is. I don't know. Anyway, back to the shelves. Remember that first piece that I cut and I ended up with that broken piece on the end and it shaved it off the top of the shelf? I can still get my 6 legs, my uprights, out of that and have a new bottom shelf out of the good piece. So 130 there. Put my square on. That's the piece that I'm cutting off. Okay, so now remembering that the saw cuts on the back side of the line, so the long piece goes on this side. I do need to release that first, push it back out of the way, and get that. Oh, I haven't turned it on at the switch. Okay, now my laser light's on there. See there? Right on the line. And what I want to remember this time is when I push it down and go backwards, I've got to keep it down as I'm going, not lift it until I've actually got right through to the back. Okay, so here goes. Now, there is a dust bag on here. I don't know if you can see it here. There's a dust bag right here. It's zipped up. There's a little bit of sawdust in it. I've had to put a bulldog clip on it to hold it closed. And I've still got sawdust flying everywhere. So I've got to find a better way of getting that bag on there and closing it. I might need to add some more material to it because the gap's about that wide. which is a nuisance because now I'm just going to have sawdust everywhere. Alright, so that's that one done. Nice clean edge. And a lot of sawdust. And a piece there I can do some uprights with. So what I'm going to do now, I'll measure it here and see how I go. Okay, I've got a line there that I'd already drawn at 25. So I can do this one. Now I've just caught my finger on the edge of that and I'm bleeding. So I don't want blood all over me woodwork. Just chuck that in there for now. I can use that as a rubbish bin. Oh. Oh, hello. I've actually got a, I don't know if you can see it, there's a moth. There's a moth sitting there on the edge of my drawer. He's going to get covered in sawdust too. Alright, so I've got 2 legs, leg number 3 coming up. Now, I'm going to show you. I might use this one and show you all the, you see all the sawdust is collected at the back, all over the saw, all over the back. I'm going to have to clean all that off. Fun! Okay, so now we come back here. And grab these 2. I'm going to need my pencil. I'm going to use the tape measure. Okay, so I've actually got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there. As you can see, I don't know if you can actually see it, but I've got 1 in the middle. That one there, for some reason. It's okay at this end, but not at that end. So I think I've gone on an angle on that base. That's why I cut extra. I've got 6 there, all the same. So now my shelf won't wobble. The next thing I have to do with this is put screws in to hold it together. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill the holes before I paint it. And to get the holes in the right place, what I'm going to do is measure in, I think 10 centimetres will be plenty. Put that up against it, make sure it's in line, and whoop, keep still. And lock it into place. Lock it in place, and then I don't have to worry about it. But 10 centimetres from this end. It's 10. That way I know where the shelf leg is going to be, and I can then measure in from the edges where I'm going to drill my hole. Once I've drilled the hole right through, then I can put the legs, scan the legs and drill through into the leg. So the holes are in the right spots. And the reason I do that is because you should always drill a pilot hole in timber so that the timber doesn't split when you're putting your screws in. So 10 centimetres, put that up there, 10. Okay, so in there I can come in, how wide are these? 18. So what I can do is 4 and 4. So come in 4 centimetres from that side, 4 centimetres from this side, and put my hole. So 4 is there. 4, oops, 4 is there. Just make sure that one's right. 4 is there. Okay, so 2 holes there. And 4. Okay, change of plan. I'm going to paint it first because when I was trying to attach the legs, I just couldn't keep them in place. So what I need to do is paint it first, then I can drill the holes, then I can glue the pieces together. And while the glue's drying, then I can drill the holes through to the legs. So I've done the bloopers, I haven't deleted them all. I've still got them on the computer, so if you really want to see the bloopers, I'll do a blooper I'll do a blooper video and get my tongue around my teeth. So what I'm going to do first is with timber, always prime it, otherwise your paint just goes straight through. Now, just give it a little stir just to make sure that it's all completely mixed in. I would normally use a roller for this, but I'm only doing one coat, so the brush it is. I'll start with the far one and just put one coat on each of these, which I'm not going to subject you to watching the whole thing. I'm sure you get the idea. I'm not even going to do a bit where I speed up through it because there's just really no point. I'm sure you've all done some painting before, so I'll leave you here for now, and I will come back once it's all primed, painted and dry, and then we can do the drilling, because the coat of paint is exactly the same as what I'm doing with this, and I'm sure you all know how to paint a piece of wood. Okay, I'll see you when this bit's finished. There we go. Bit of advice if you're going to be painting. Bit of advice, before you start painting, make sure you're not wearing good clothes, just in case you get things like this happening. Suddenly realised, now I've got to go and get changed to do the rest. See you later. So I'm back. I've painted one coat of primer and one coat of low sheen. That'll do me for now, so I can get it all built together, and then what I'll do is once it's together I'll finish off the painting with the final coat of the low sheen paint. Now what I've done, and you might be able to see it better now that it is on white, I've drawn the lines again. This is one that I've actually drilled the holes in. Now what happened was those screws were too short to fit through and go into the leg as well. So I've been and bought some new screws. These are thicker than the other ones I had. So these are really going to struggle to go through those screw holes. So I've now got a bigger drill bit. But you can still see, I hope, if I can bring that and zoom it in, if you measure your drill bit over the screw, if you still see a bit of the screw behind, you know that that's going to be a good size. If you can't see the screw, your drill bit's too big. Okay, now remember I said it was difficult to put it together last time. What I'm going to do this time is I am going to glue the leg on there, and glue the other side, and then I'll be able to put the screws in from the top. That means I'm going to have to, actually what I'm going to do is I'll drill those screw holes bigger, just to make sure my screws will fit in. Okay, so there's the 4 holes done. Now, while I was waiting for the glue to dry, I remembered that I had seen somewhere, the house, the shed, in there, somewhere, a packet of dowels. I thought, because these are taking too long to dry, and it's Wednesday, what time is it? It's 10 to 10 in the morning, Wednesday morning. So I want to get this done because I've got a guy coming this afternoon to clean out the pool after getting liquid limestone poured yesterday, or Monday, and then it was finished off yesterday, sealing and everything. Of course, there's all dust and sand in the pool, so I want to try and get this done before he gets here. So, I found the dowels. They were in there, in a container with some of the craft stuff. So, this is going to make life a lot quicker. I can get the dowels in, I don't have to wait for glue to dry, and the legs will stick together. Now, what I did was, the measurement on the dowels, there's a little picture here, is 6 mil. So that's actually 6 mil deep. So I've now put a 6 mil drill bit in the drill. I've measured in 6 centimetres from the edge. So remember, the screws are at 4 centimetres. So I've gone in 6 centimetres, and using this little block, I've actually put it there, drawn a line across the bottom and up the top on all 4. So when I take those off now, I can see where I need to drill the hole, in here and in here. So let's see how we go. That does look awfully big for that, but I suppose it's better for it to slot in rather than not. What I might do, get the pencil. That's not going to be easy to do, is it? That won't fit. Alright, that's not going to be easy to do because it won't fit there. It'll fit there. So I draw the line into there. And into there. Okay. And then, same, I've got lines here. I'm going to go around. Unfortunately, that won't go around corners, so I'm just going to have to gauge it to there. And that one, it's a bit sticky with the glue on it. There. Let's see how this goes. Now, I don't want it to go all the way through this, so I'm just going to go in a short way. How far down do I need it? There. What I need to do is I need to put some tape on that so I can see how deep I need to go. What have we got in here? Right, so what I'm doing is I'm measuring it to see how deep I can go without going right through to the top. If I drill to that spot there, I'm safe. Now I'm going to have to find some scissors, which are not on here, not on here. Probably, I don't know, I think I have to pull my scissors inside. Okay, Stanley knife will do. Okay, so that'll do. And that one. Do it slowly so you don't end up knocking your tape out. Okay, so that will go there, that one will go there. And what I might do, what I need is some coloured chalk, because that would make it easier if I could just put that there. Oh. Let's see, that hasn't lined up. Why didn't it line up? I'm doing a line either side of the dowel so that I know there's my two lines. I've got to drill in between those two, and in the middle, let's just hope they line up. If they don't, then I'm in trouble. Actually, this one can go in deeper, can't it? I better do. That's going to be a nuisance. I'm going to have to do all of these bits first, and then the legs. Okay. There and there. measure how deep they're going to go on cloth there. Small one. The sawdust is sticking to the glue, which will then leave me with lumps, and then the leg won't sit flush. Alright. So what I need to do now is see how deep that's 2 centimetres. So now I need to tape it. I'm going to go just a little bit beyond the 2. So it won't matter if it's a little bit deeper than it needs to be. There, draw my lines either side, make sure they're dark enough to see. And then, got my lines right in the middle of those, as far as the yellow tape again. And keep your fingers crossed. I'm just going to measure it again, make sure that's in the right spot, that's in the right spot, so I'm going to do it right in the middle of those. Now, they're a bit close to the edge there, aren't they? See how good my eyesight is. Probably not very good. And make sure you keep your drill upright, otherwise you're going to end up coming out through there. Done that the wrong way, haven't I? Oh, that's alright. It'll do. It'll do. Whoa. Very horrible feeling that's not gone in the right spot. But we'll see what happens. Are they right? Are they right? Yeah, see, Just go that way. One. And that's that one done. And once I've turned it over and screwed the screws in, that will then pull it tighter. So let's make sure we get this one right this time. I'm going to make sure it's in the actual middle of one, two, and I don't know if it will work if I put a blob on there. All there. All that. I haven't got any. Actually, I'm going to go and look for some coloured chalk. I know I've got some somewhere. I will be back. Okay, I've got a big pot of giant chalk somewhere. Can't find it anywhere, so what I'm going to do is, the next easiest thing is black paint. Take it out of the lid. Dab on there, and hopefully if I line that up properly, I've got 2 black dots to work from. Crazy. So now we're going to take this drill bit out. And we're going to be putting the skinny one back in, because now that's not going to work, because I've got them screwed up my lines, haven't I? I'm not straight anymore. So what I'm going to do is I don't know. Test it and see. We'll go in there. That one's okay. Oh, it's a bit close to the edge. Might be okay. Okay, here's the bookshelf. with all my books. James Paterson Alex Cross set, James Paterson Women's Murder Club set, Kathy Reichs. The new set I'm starting on is Sue Grafton. I've still got a whole lot of alphabet to go on that one. Dean Koontz, that's a great set. Brother Toys. And then there's a few odd ones scattered around as well. And as you can see, I've got room to store my dishes as well. So I'm happy with that. I do have to paint it still, but I'm trying to decide whether to paint it white or do it lilac so it blends in with the wall. That's something that I'll think about later. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Now I've got to come up with a project for next week. Let me think about it. Hey again. Just want to let you know, you probably saw the two teddies up there. This one here, I've had that since 1969. It was part of the presents that I got from my friends at high school in England when we were leaving England to come to Australia. That they had that, and I had a pink and white fuzzbug or gonk. I can't remember, but it was I used to call it the fuzzbug. Really big, hairy thing. And there's quite a few little things. There was a ring. I can't remember. But this, I've still got the fuzzbug. In the end, just got so tangled and matted and deteriorated too much. He's well loved. He's lost a lot of his fur. He's been around, travelled around different houses as I've moved. And this little one here, he's from my friend in Canada, and she actually managed to find a little pin with the Canadian flag and the Australian flag on it. That's my friend Judy. I met her in Toronto. So anyway, next week I'm going to move the camera because oh, hang on, let me shut the radio up. Hey Google, stop. I forgot about that. I should have done that before I started. Don't want to get done for copyright. Whoops. Let me see. Alright, now. My Christmas tree is still up from last year. Mainly because I was going to get some work done. These dangly things, I used to keep them all in one of these light boxes. I used to just throw them in there. What happens is when I come to put them on the tree the following year, which is what happened last Christmas, all the strings got tangled up together. I had to cut them all off and restring them. So I'm going to make little trays for these to sit in out of polystyrene. They'll all go onto a tray, into a box, and you can watch how I do that with my hot wire tools. Okay, so have a great week, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye for now.